Anyone who's trying to improve anything about his or her life or is simply trying to improve at any kind of skill surely realizes the importance of changes in our behavior, habits, values, and beliefs on an individual level. This is the most important change that we can make, as we're the only person that we can completely change top to bottom. But improvement on a personal level, despite being very important, is just a part of a much bigger picture that is the process of personal growth. In this video, we will go over the positive and negative effects that people you choose to spend your time with have on your life, motivation, pursuit of goals, mindset, and success or lack thereof that results at the end. But before we do, feel free to leave a like on the video if it provides value to you, as every like, share and comment help the channel out tremendously and I really appreciate it. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe with the notifications on for more personal finance, investing, business and motivation related videos as well as weekly book summaries. The thing is that every day we interact with a wide range of different people in many different situations. Some of those people will be a source of support and bring us happiness, while others will just bring us down and make us feel bad. The people you spend the majority of your time around, also known as your circle of influence, are the key component to your success and long-term motivation. Remember Jim Rohn's quote, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." Knowing the right people and spending most of your time with them can easily be the most beneficial or the most harmful thing you'll ever do. And no, I'm not talking about knowing people that have some connections you can use to get into some tough to get positions overnight. We're talking about personal growth here. The people you choose to surround yourself with, in other words, the fact whether you're the smartest and the most successful person in the room most of the time, can be a major force that either pushes you forward or drags you down. Don't believe me? Look at the results from a study from the National Bureau of Economics Research, in which psychologists tracked US Air Force cadets over the course of 4 years. What the researchers found was that while there was variability in fitness gains or losses across the cadets, there was almost no variability whatsoever within squadrons. Oh, squadrons, by the way, are groups of 30-ish cadets, and an individual is randomly assigned to a squadron prior to his freshman year. The squadrons became each cadet's new environment, and each one of the cadets simply produced the results close to the average of the whole group. If a cadet was underperforming, that became weird compared to the rest of the group, so he worked extra hard to be as fit as the rest of the group to avoid being the odd one out. Similarly, if a cadet was outperforming the others, that didn't seem too necessary a goal to obtain, as others were on a level that's below that after all. In other words, those squadrons, the environment, the people a cadet was put around, his circle of influence, had a huge impact on fitness gains or losses. In many cases, this even trumped personal aspirations, as a vast majority of cadets simply adjusted to the group norm. Now, in every environment, there are going to be some people that you can clearly see will drag you down if you keep hanging out with them, and also some people that you can learn a lot from, and they can speed up your growth. There are also some neutral people in the middle, but most often you just didn't spend enough time with them to put them in either category yet. I like to call those two categories of people sails and anchors. Positive and people who strive to grow will always push you forward. They are like sails on your ship that's on a journey towards success. Negative and people who mostly prefer short-term pleasure over delayed gratification are like anchors on a ship that has sailed away and is on its way to its destination. You don't really need them on your journey. They are at this point just dead weight that slows you down. It often takes time for you to set sails and for an anchor to completely sink and hit the ground. So both the negative and the positive effects take some time to reach their full strength, meaning that the actual time you spend with those people dictates how much they affect you. This is why it's very important for you to decide how much time you want to spend with whom, and who you're going to cut off completely. Most of us will, upon stepping back and taking a wide, objective look at our friends and the way they influence us, realize that it would be way better for us to spend less time with some of them. Like, I'm personally no exception to this. I've made a cut a while ago and it was one of the best decisions in a long while, not just for growth's sake, but for my own happiness and sanity's sake also. You don't have to cut off all the anchors completely. They can just remain your quote-unquote casual friends, as Jim Rohn likes to call such people. And casual friends deserve a casual amount of your free time, while serious friends deserve a serious amount of your time. This way casual friends don't do much damage, while serious friends cause a serious amount of growth. But don't forget to take a step back every once in a while just to make sure you didn't purposely find somebody that supports some objectively unrealistic goals that you might want to try to pursue no matter what. This is especially important if the person is likely to get some form of personal benefits if you pursue whatever they are supporting you to pursue. Let's take a look at some quick examples of sales and anchors and how they might affect you. Imagine yourself as a sixth person in a group of example number 1. 5 people that are on their way to becoming financially independent versus 5 people who are dead broke or even in huge debt. One group is gonna make you wanna become financially independent also, so you're not the odd one out, while the other one will make being financially irresponsible seem completely normal. So where would you like to be? Example number 2. 5 people who are very fit versus 5 people who are overweight. The consequences here are pretty obvious. Example number 3. 5 college students who pass all the exams cause they study hard for them versus 5 students that party all day every day and fail most exams. Again, the priorities of these two groups are very different. And no matter what your priorities were before you formed your circle of influence, the circle can change them very easily. Bonus example. 5 people that always push the like button versus 5 people that don't. Tip: the second group is the one to avoid here. Now, I'm not making this video to force you to pass all your exams if you're a college student, to be fit, or even to be financially responsible. The point is in making you see how others around you shape your perception and dictate the trajectory of your life. But it's up to you to decide what your goals are and what's important to you. Let's look at the examples again, but we'll make them less drastic. You will see that there are still benefits to be had from choosing to hang around different people, even if all of the groups have similar goals. Example number 1. 5 people that are on their way to becoming financially independent just like you, but are way ahead of you, versus 5 people who are also on their way to becoming financially independent, but have not come as far and are really not that enthusiastic about it. Naturally, the ones ahead of you are more likely to have more experience and knowledge, thus being able to provide you with more tips and tricks. Bear in mind that it's their actions and discipline that got them to where they are now, both of which you can replicate by learning from them and adopting their habits. Example number 2. 5 people who are very fit but way more fit than you versus 5 people who are also fit but less fit than you. Well, this turns out to be the Air Force cadet study-like situation all over again. You are likely to become as fit as the rest of your group, so one group will make you push harder while the other one is likely to make you relax a bit. And example number 3. 5 college students who pass all the exams with great grades versus 5 students that pass most exams and grades are not that important to them. Again, the first group is likely to have more tips and tricks for you, and of course their work ethic is the key factor in their success. So if all of them seem to be busy studying but you have what seems to be an unnatural amount of free time, it will make you question whether you're missing something. We've all got new, useful, exciting things to learn, no matter how far we've come or how experienced we are. And surrounding yourself with people who have similar passions and goals will let you learn from them and grow faster, especially if they are ahead of you on that journey. Remember that a true master is an eternal student. Further, very important things that our circle of influence also affects are our mindset and subconscious thoughts. Even the topics that we have no opinions on whatsoever and aspects of our lives that we have not learned much about yet, but we know we should eventually, can easily be shaped before we get to make informed opinions on them. Consider this analogy by Napoleon Hill. Our subconscious mind resembles a fertile garden spot, in which weeds will grow in abundance if the seeds of more desirable crops are not sown therein. The subconscious mind is wired to recognize the warning signs of any kind of danger and try to protect us from it. That's why it's much easier to adopt somebody else's negative and pessimistic views compared to positive and optimistic views. The media also knows this. Negative, tragic, horrifying and shocking news get way more eyeballs compared to positive ones. And of course, they make use of this knowledge, spreading negativity as a consequence. This makes the amount of negative seeds flying around that might land in the fertile land that is our mind dangerously high. Now, I know it's impossible to eliminate some, even many negative people from our lives, such as co-workers, roommates, people who influenced us in the past and so on. But we still get to choose who we spend our free time with, who we communicate with in our free time, and our partners, both in business and romantic relationships. And while you can't choose your family or co-workers, you most definitely can choose whether you let them shape your way of thinking, values, goals, and work ethic. You also get to limit the amount of stress they might cause you by simply not caring about the unimportant stuff that they care too much about. Now, some people that you might want to spend time with and poke their brain might not be available to you, as you've never met them and are unlikely to ever do so, and some of them might have already passed away even. But don't worry, cause many of such brilliant minds left behind books, seminars, recordings of interviews with them and other resources that will let you see and absorb their way of thinking, their tricks, the way they communicate and approach others, their enthusiasm, and many other important ingredients that led to their success. Surrounding yourself with and learning from positive, goal-oriented people is a necessity if you want to grow without being tied to an anchor that slows you down. So every person striving to grow, no, every person in general actually, should take an objective look at their circle of influence and try to get rid of as many anchors as possible and find new sails that will accelerate their ship that's on the journey towards their goals. Thank you for watching, and I really hope this video was useful to you. Also, thank you all for sharing the videos with friends and of course destroying the like button. There's much more investing, personal finance, business and motivation related content on the way, as well as weekly book summaries, so feel free to subscribe if you have not done so yet. I'll see you next week, so enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye!